And Mike, Mike has claimed that I stole it from him. Yes, Mike has claimed I stole it from him, but in reality, I've been dealing with this for years. So, and if you think I printed this yesterday, you're crazy. So it is the same kind of activity that we do and the Grimsby Institute does. And I'm not going to read these. I'm just going to throw these at you because we get into gross details at every level, from the strategic down to the tactical, executive down to the front line, business competencies, supply chain competencies. All right. Not only do we do that, this is just a summary page. We go into gross detail in our guides. This guides us for our training, and I'm not going to read those. I'll just leave those with you. Work. How do we handle all that? Well, jobs are about responsibility. At a strategic level, interorganizational relationships. At a manager level, it's about how you structure the company and run and manage operations. Supervisor, it's about process. And frontline, it's about transactions. What we did, and I'm not going to read these, is to marry tasks, which is a traditional job description, to SKAs, competencies. It's not enough just to know what you need to do, which is a task. You've got to have the competence to go with it, to match those activities. So this became a very important and crucial way in which we defined the labor market. Having said that, we then developed a series of training programs that lead to professional certification, not to degrees. Ours is a professional credential, which we feel is complementary to an educational credential. And once again, I stole this from Mike, but I left most of it just the way he presented it, because here we have Grimsby's programs aligned to the competencies identified by Grimsby and the regional people in terms of what's important and valuable to the local and the regional and the entire national approach to productivity in the seafood and other areas. What we've done is this. Now, you definitely can't read this. We actually have a whole series of certification programs. There are actually 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. Top ones are aimed at executives, specific only to executives. Middle ones, manager. The next lower is process orientation, and this is about certification, and the bottom is tactical. By the way, at the end of each of these programs that someone finishes, they actually earn the same designation, all right? Because it is about certification. It's not about education. It's about applied skills and the capability to get things done. It's not about what you know. It's about what you can do. It's about our designation, which is the PLOG, Professional Logistician. Recognized around the world and growing, thankfully. And our vision is not simply to have experts in supply chain. It's about leadership. It's about transformation management. It's about self-confidence. It's about being ethical. And of course, it's about being a supply chain expert. We combine in all of our programs both leadership, so-called soft skills, and supply chain logistics skills. All of our programs are intertwined with those sets of skill requirements. Where Grimsby has looked at the workplace and produced and developed programs applicable to the workplace, we have developed programs applicable to an entire business sector which has a global vision, and that's supply chain logistics. The difference and the complementarity is what we do here on a regional and business basis, we, the Logistics Institute, do on an entire sector basis in the world of supply chain logistics. And in the end, it's about credibility. It isn't just about knowledge. It isn't even about skills. It's about whether you're credible or not. And it's about your ethical ability to work and manage and be with others. Having said that, success, my last 2 slides. The success is about 3 things. You could read all the books in the world, and I'm sorry if I step on anybody's toes in a course on what constitutes strategy, process. You only need 3 things to be successful. You need a strategy, you need a process, you need people. Strategy is where do you want to be? Process is how are you going to get there? People, who's driving the bus? And it's an inverted a pyramid or fulcrum, because the focal point of success is people, not strategy, and not process. If you don't have the right people, your corporate growth might be good on paper. Your efficient processes might actually work, but you need effective people, and that is what we do. Thank you.
First, I'd like to congratulate Victor for staying on time. But I'm going to open it to one or two questions before we go to the next speaker. Yeah?
Please.
Can I just make an observation, Victor? The whole presentation stands to reflect a lot of what's been talked about over the last couple of days. And really the essence is people are key. And that what we're talking about is very much learning organisations, and organisations learn only through their people. Don't we then get a bit of a paradox and a bit of a tension when you've got recessionary times like we have? Because what starts to happen, my own experience of working for Nestle, is one of the first budgets that gets cut is the training budget.
Yes, it is.
What we then start to do, we start to lay people off, and we often start to shed skills to try and ride through the recession. Only have to try and find them again once the recession's passed. Can you just make a comment on that?
Yeah, first of all, I agree with you, 150% if there is such a thing. It is the I think companies are misinformed about what the value add is. Bottom line tends to drive all of us, all right, even at home. You can only go so far. Money only stretches so far. Profit tends to be a primary motive. Unfortunately, it's misunderstanding that profit is not from your business process. It's actually from your people. Now, the difficulty is too many companies have too many influence leaders. By that I mean investors. Investors don't give a flying hoot how you run your company. They don't give a rat's ass. They just want to know what their ROI is. They want to know what the quarterly report, what the weekly report, what the stock market is going to do. They really don't care. And if you have to get rid of a whole bunch of people so that their investment increases, do it. That's too bad. But unfortunately, world business is run that way. And I think that it's a misunderstanding and a lack of understanding of what is really important. It's about running the company successfully, not just bottom line.
So we've got time for one more quick question.
Oh, you mean a quick answer?
Is there one more before we move on?
No.
No. In that case, thanks very much.
They're all asleep.